So everyone, welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to do a Chicago Blackhawks preview / off-season review, focusing on the gaping holes on the Chicago lineup and a team that I thought was disappointing last year. They're still top 4 or 5 seed in the West, but I think they should have been higher. Actually they were the 6th seed, excuse me. I thought they should have been higher. I thought they underachieved, and they play in a tough division with Detroit, with Nashville, with St. Louis. But they're a great team, and I think goaltending's the Achilles heel. We'll talk about that later. But without further ado, let's start out the lines. First line, we got Patrick Sharp on the left. So Shannon Sharp there. Taves down the middle, Host on the right, provided he's healthy, which all signs point to he is. So pretty basic first line. Second line, here's where it gets intriguing. We got Victor Stahlberg on your left, Brandon Saad down the middle, and then Patrick Kane on the right. Now Saad in the middle, obviously one of their biggest gaping holes is the second line center spot, and Saad's one of their most promising prospects in that organization. Obviously played a few games last year, got in the playoffs too for them, and coming out of rookie camp last month, they made the decision have Saad get some looks at center in camp. They announced that Saad working on the offseason would work out as if he were going to be a center, which I don't know how he'd work out any differently, but I'd give him a look. I think he'd be a top 6 forward anyway. I don't think he's played center consistently, really, at all. But I'd still put him there, in camp and then see what happens. Kane can't be a second line center. He's too small, not responsible enough defensively, and I just don't think he has the it factor to be a center. I think he's a great winger, and I think that allows him to display his full offensive capabilities. But I think that's a pretty solid second line. It takes the pressure off the first line if Saad can be a good second line center. But third line, Michael Frolik on the left, Patrick Bowen down the middle, and Andrew Shaw on the right. I like that line a lot. Shaw showed some real promise at the end of last year. Bowen, I'd like to see him on the second line, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think that third line look is probably better for him within that organization. And I think Frolik, how many more chances is he going to get? Prove that he's shown flashes but never done it consistently. So we'll see how it works out. And then the fourth line, Castillo, Kruger, Bickle. Kruger got some looks in the second line last year, really didn't work out. Castillo, season ended early with the knee injury, but it should be pretty solid. Forward. Then on the back end, Keith and Seabrook, your first tandem, no questions asked. And then Steve Monador-Nicoletti, another basic pairing, and then Johnny Oduya and Nicholas Johnson. Pretty basic defensive core. It's the second line center that really is the biggest gaping hole in this team skater-wise. And then the biggest hole in the team is the goaltender. Is Corey Crawford and Ray Emery. Obviously he's back up. Is Corey Crawford the guy? And I'd like to think so. Chicago did give him a nice fat extension, but I don't know. I can't look objectively and say he's the guy that's going to take you to Stanley Cup. I don't think that he is. I think if they could get Bernier from Los Angeles, a guy like that, trading for Luongo's out of the question. But a young goalie that can be that it factor, I keep saying it factor, be the missing piece to a Stanley Cup championship team. This is a team that won the Cup with Niemi. So, goaltending, I'm not going to, in all due respect to Niemi, that was kind of the Achilles heel that year in the playoffs. But this is a team that can definitely use more. They need consistency, and Kane's a perfect example of that. He underachieved drastically last year. The off-the-ice shenanigans this offseason, he's got to mature. This is one thing about Pat Kane is he's going in a year 5. He's played 5 years in the NHL, going into year 6. He still doesn't wear a letter. He's the first overall pick. He's your franchise guy with Taves. That's saying a lot, I've done multiple pieces on if they trade him. I'm not saying come out and trade him. But if you think that if Bowman and company think they can make the team better by trading Kane, they should absolutely explore that option and see what they can get back in return. But like I said, Chicago will be a playoff team next year. How far they go is pretty much falls on the shoulders of the goaltender, like every other team in the NHL. But we'll definitely see the Hawks in the playoffs. That's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Chicago Blackhawks season preview. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the offseason and beyond. Later, guys.